Hello and welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. This platform is dedicated to value creators, those who want to evolve or even make a revolution in their lives, both professionally and personally. To me, the entrepreneurial stance is for sure a source of fulfillment in all areas of life because it induces responsibility and action as opposed to the victim status. This is what I consider our MasterCard in this 21st century to move towards more independence. So let's say it. But what exactly is a modern entrepreneur? Traditionally, an entrepreneur is seen as someone who creates business and contributes to the economy. However, there's no need of a formal structure to serve others and bring value to their life. Even in a much broader sense, being an entrepreneur means taking ownership of one's desire in all aspects of life and making them a reality. This way, he can contribute to his own well-being and by extension, the well-being of the global. As it's been said, if you want to make a big impact in the world, just start with yourself. Like, if you want an organic world, start by putting your money on it, or make more environmentally responsible choices. If you dream of a world free of corruption, start by showing more integrity in your life. I believe everyone's choices and actions at local level will support the global algorithm shift, and this way we'll see the impact on our own worth, whether humanly, intellectually, but also financially. From this perspective, it means we all have the potential to be an entrepreneur, far beyond the statistics, because entrepreneurship is first a mindset, not just business status. We are an entrepreneur from the moment we take charge of our reality. Among employees, there are those who just do the minimum and the ones who get the extra mile by adopting this entrepreneurial mindset. Even an unemployed individual can be an entrepreneur by investing in self-education, developing new skills that will increase their potential to be hired. The only difference between two unemployed people is the sense of responsibility and commitment. This same point of view can be applied to a stay-at-home parent managing household, organization, budgeting, meal planning, kids' education, and logistics, just like a business. In whatever we do, we have this potential to engage in this process of improvement, to strive toward our full potential. We just need to shift our focus to the entrepreneurial mindset. In the future economy, I believe we will all operate as independent entities serving other entities, much like how freelancers and interim managers operate today. For 2025, the share of independent work accounts for 12 to 40% of the global labor force, depending on the definition and the region. This large spectrum of estimation, 12 to 40%, comes from the diversity of statuses, weight of informality, and survey methodology. There is no single consensus on the exact share. Last year, according to the website Genius, the statistic as of September 2024, independent work represented 46.6% of global workforce and was said growing 15 times faster than traditional job market. So here they choose to align with upper scale. And it's also said that freelance will make up the majority of workforce by 2027. There is a dynamic of strong growth favored by digitalization and work flexibility. Indeed, if we look at the evolution of entrepreneurship, the rise of the internet in the late 1990s was a real game changer. It opened the door for entrepreneurship to spark a massive transformation, making international markets more accessible than ever. The 2000s were driven by a strong desire for self-determination. And today, with the rise of artificial intelligence in what some call the age of acquirers, the impact goes even deeper, reshaping productivity and efficiency. We are living in a time where technology should serve as a tool to bring our visions to life. This is an era of innovation, one that invites us to create new ways of working, new habits, and even new world order, but always grounded in human values. Some people never enter traditional employment, but instead use companies solely as a means of learning through training, for example, before launching their own ventures. Others who never saw themselves as entrepreneurs, but after having experienced corporate life as too restrictive for them, decide to pursue their own path and leave behind the so-called secured and comfortable system. Through my observations, I have identified 3 types of entrepreneurs, or more precisely, the 3 ways people get into entrepreneurship. First group, the gifted people, the ones that capitalize on their talents from a very young age and turn it into venture. Over time, their sharpened skill becomes second nature, and entrepreneurship is simply the next step. It could be within IT, drawing, language, writing, sport, or any other expertise. Think of Beyoncé, who started performing as a child and with her family's support turned her artistic gift into a global business empire. It's not only singing and dancing, but to be totally invested in the creation and marketing process. We can also mention Mark Zuckerberg, coding since his teenage years, who transformed his passion into Facebook. Even athletes like Serena Williams show how raw talents, when nurtured, can evolve into businesses and investments beyond the sport itself. Second category, the born entrepreneurs or the strategic builders. For these individuals, entrepreneurship is a life plan, sometimes inherited, sometimes strategically chosen. Here it depends a lot on your surroundings. Some grew up in family businesses and continue the legacy. Here we have the example of LVMH. Others pursue education and corporate careers with a clear roadmap, climb quickly, master the skills, then launch their own venture within a decade. The Olsen twins embody this path, turning their early fame into the globally acclaimed fashion house, The Row. Aliko Dangote spent decades building what is now Africa's most powerful industrial group, and Richard Branson, who started selling records as a teenager, went on to create Virgin, a brand spanning dozens of industries. Third category, the wake-up call entrepreneurs or the transformers. Here is the category of take the leap after a trigger. These are people who realize they need a change to fully thrive. Some act from personal dissatisfaction or wanting more revenue or more flexibility, like Jessica Alba, who left acting to create The Honest Company, or Rihanna, who shifted from music to build a fashion and cosmetic empire. Others are visionaries, seeing a bigger picture than their current job allows, like Phoebe Philo, who moved from designer to creating her own creative universe. And then there are the opportunists, people who seize the right moment to build wealth. Jeff Bezos, he left a stable career in finance to start Amazon, betting on the future of e-commerce, and he did well. Kylie Jenner turned her personal brand into one of the fastest growing cosmetics companies in the world. So we have 3 categories, 3 different paths, 3 different mindsets. Whether born out of talent, strategy, or life-changing wake-up call, entrepreneurship always comes down to the same drive, turning vision into reality. And I believe that today, more of us fall into this last category, the wake-up call entrepreneurs. Why? Because job security is no longer guaranteed, pension systems are increasingly uncertain, at least in many countries. And let's be honest, who really wants to wait until their 70s or 80s to finally enjoy life? This perspective is strongly highlighted by M.G. DeMarco in his book, The Millionaire Fastlane, where he explains how we've been conditioned to trade our time and energy for decades with the hope of eventually reaching financial freedom, only to realize that by then we may no longer have the energy to enjoy it. Entrepreneurship in this sense is not just an option anymore. It's a growing movement worldwide. In many developing countries, it's even the norm. According to the World Bank and International Labour Organization statistics, the lower a country's income level, the higher the share of self-employment. For example, in low-income economies, where work is often informal and tied to subsistence, over 80% of workers are self-employed. In contrast, in high-income economies, that number drops to around 12%. Yet, technology is beginning to reshape this landscape. Digital tools make it easier to connect with global markets and producing countries. What used to be a subsistence economy can now be transformed by IT, empowering entrepreneurs with knowledge, visibility, and access to opportunities far beyond their local context. The current trend everywhere is more and more people are buying online, but also more people are becoming sellers, third parties offering products and services. This means I can buy my shea butter online from the community that produces it, like Hamamat in Ghana, and I can also package it for my own account and market it. The drop shipping may have had its moment, but we still have Amazon, Alibaba, Jumia, Vinted, Konga, eBay, Etsy that continue to thrive. Many young people have become millionaires through online sales, whether selling art, fitness gear, toys, dietary supplements. And with the boom of the online commerce, transportation services have skyrocketed, not only to deliver goods, but also to take us from one point to another. Private transportation is now democratized thanks to Uber, Bolt, Grab. We have Yango, you have Self-Boda, making it accessible for all budgets. The expansion of service-based entrepreneurship is also impacting the real estate market with short-term rentals, Airbnb or conciergerie service. For some, it's just a side income. For others, it's a real estate investment strategy, leading them to purchase spaces and develop a rental business. Here, let's take a quick look at the situation regarding short-term rentals and import-export. First of all, as you may know, Airbnb and short-term rentals are subjected to stricter laws due to the pressure and disruptions affecting all hotel business and more specifically the rental market. European capitals, for the biggest part, are announcing restriction on the length of the stays or depending on licenses. And of course, failure to comply can result in heavy fines. And then, since Trump administration, there is this increasing concern about custom duties and how it will impact importing companies. What will be the impact on procurement and production? And also, how much weight can the end customer support? If you used to source from developing countries where raw materials are abundant and labor costs cheaper, these additional taxes are to be considered, and companies who are not agile enough to adapt their processes might have to face a difficult 2025 closure. With all this said, now go back to our main subject, because anyway, it's clear that all this modern entrepreneurship is more than just a trend. More people outsource their daily tasks, cleaning services, financial advisor, tax planners, and there is also a rise of holistic health services for massage therapy, naturopathy, and even spiritual guidance. All this creating big opportunities. Entrepreneurship enthusiasm is at its peak, but beyond digital tools, entrepreneurship demands willpower, perseverance, and agility. Being a modern entrepreneur also means navigating uncertainty while staying true to your value and continuously shaping your ideal world and lifestyle. Entrepreneurship is rarely easy. It's a journey filled with challenges, uncertainty, and constant problem solving. That's why resilience is key. You need strategies, tactics, and above all, a mindset that helps you persist through it all. On this platform, Modern Entrepreneur, I am excited to share not only practical tools to support your productivity, but also insight to strengthen your mindset and keep you moving forward, no matter what. And now, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this entrepreneurship trend? Is it something in your life plan? Maybe you already launched your process for a side business. If not yet, maybe you have a dream, a passion, or a business idea, but you feel unsure about how to begin. Perhaps you like the right strategies, the right mentors, the right resources, or simply the self-confidence to get started. But whatever is your blocking point, just keep in mind this word from Wayne Dyer. Maybe you already know them. Don't die with your music still in you. Meaning, make some space for your dreams. If it's not yet working, keep trying, keep improving by adopting a PDCA mindset. PDCA for plan, do, check, act, or adjust. And you'll see results. In book section, to support your project initiation, I recommend reading Creating the Impossible by Michael Neal, who is a transformational coach and help people reframe reality and break through self-imposed limits. The book Creating the Impossible is a 90-day program designed to reignite your creativity and act. Each day presents a short reading with exercises to stretch your imagination and push beyond mental blocks. It helps to shift from I can't to what if? What if I try? You can expect more clarity, motivation, and momentum. When I first read it about 4 years ago, I had no clear business idea, but it was a great support to build the foundation for my action. Okay, so that's it for me, and I'll be glad to hear from you, from your feedback. First of all, I hope you enjoyed this episode, which is actually the first... There is a car, sorry. I hope you enjoyed this episode, which is actually the introduction of this podcast, Modern Entrepreneur. If you find some interest in this episode, please like, share, comment, and I see you in the next episode with even more creative energy. Thank you.